Hi everybody, welcome back to NSA Aviation. NSA. I have finally completed the custom Edmonton model airport, which I posted this morning, as they'll be on for probably a bit of a summer. And I built a terminal. This diorama of the gate markings is from 2023. Though, if you've watched our Instagram channel back then, you might have seen them back in July 2023 when I first started the channel. But anyways, let's get started. All the way over there, we have this Air North 737-800, which just arrived from Whitehorse and is now going to be heading up to Calgary. Right over here, getting some cargo loaded on before a flight out to Abbotsford. This is Flair 737-800. Right here, just arrived in from Kelowna and now about to head out to Winnipeg. This WestJet 737-700. Over here, getting some cargo loaded on for a flight out to Comox. This is WestJet Q400. And just getting clearance for pushback is another WestJet Encore Q400. This time, it'll be heading out to Calgary after a flight from Fort McMurray. Over here, we have my Air Canada Express CRJ-200, which is now retired and used to ride from Vancouver and is now going out to Yellowknife. And over here we have my broken now Air Canada Express Q400, which is driving from Calgary and will now be heading back out to the same airport. Right there we have this Air Canada 747 MAX 8, which is operating for Rouge and just driving in Vancouver and is going to be heading back out there. Over here we have an Air Canada A320-200 in the old livery and some catering loaded on before boarding for Toronto Pearson. Right here, gate 56, we have this Air Canada Airs A320-300 in new livery, which just arrived in from Montreal and will be heading back out there. Over here, we have this WestJet 737-800 who arrived in from Moncton and is now going to be heading out to Vancouver, which is a flight I flew on. And right here, we have this Flair 737 MAX 8, which will be heading out to Victoria today after a flight in from Toronto Pearson. And right here, we have this WestJet 737 MAX 8, which will be heading out to Reykjavik after a flight in from Halifax. Over here we have this Porter Embraer E195-E2, which will be heading out to Montreal Metropolitan Airport after flying from Ottawa. And right here we have this Air Canada Express CRJ-900, which will be heading out to San Francisco today. Right here we have this United 737 MAX 8 Naveen United Together livery, which just arrived from Denver and is about to board for a flight back out to the same airport. Right here we have this WestJet 737-700, which will be heading up to Salt Lake City today. Over here we have an Alaska Embraer ERJ-175, which will be heading out to Seattle after a flight interview, and just fueling up for a flight out to Chicago O'Hare after a flight from Houston Intercontinental. Last night is this United Air's A320-200. And over there just in storage is a Canadian North 737-200, which is now retired in the old livery after a flight from Yellowknife yesterday. And right over here, taxiing out for a flight over to Cincinnati, is Cargo Jet 757-200. Taxiing in front of him, we have this Air Canada Airs A320-300 in a Trans-Canada Airlines Retro livery, which will be heading out to Vancouver today. And right over here beside him, just taxiing gate after a flight from Amsterdam, is KLM 767-300F. And right here, taking off for a flight out to Memphis, this is FedEx 767-300F. And finally, just about to start pulling onto the runway is my Buffalo Airways Lockheed L-188 Electra, which is missing its nose gear for some reason, and he's going to be heading out to Yellowknife. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys back in the next video.